bodies. What I mean by luminary bodies, I mean they are sacrificial burning bodies. They burn to produce light. I said they what? Let me tell you something that goes on in churches that will not go far. Churches that will not go far are churches that bring cluster of people who are careless about their life, who are mindless of future, who gather and believe that this is a religious ground where people pity themselves while others feed them. That's a senseless living. I said, that's what? That's a senseless living. What we need to do is, I don't have transport money. Somebody should be giving it to me all the time. And for you to be doing something for doing what for that person? I said for you to be doing what for the person? I am sharing on Royal Star here why Jesus was still in the manger, why he was still where? His star was already shining. And in Matthew chapter 2, 1 and 2, the Magi said, the person that have this star is the king of the Jews, that have this light. And they followed him in 2:11 and gave him gold, frankincense, and myrrh in the manger there. That was when Jesus was crucified. The man that have that star died before he was born. I was telling somebody yesterday and today, okay, two different people. I said my intelligence is not a learnable intelligence. I said it's not what? No, it's not learnable. You know, in my book on the agelessness of God, I say something on enlightenment of self-birth is the highest form of enlightenment. So what you mean by enlightenment is the highest form of learning. Is a learning that produces God from a man. Highest form of learning. Now it is not a teachable learning. It is that I sit down there and I stay with the ancients and I look at this thing, looking at God, looking at the Bible, and looking at myself, and then I know that light cannot burn, cannot shine until there is a price. Until there is a price. Now it is not about the sacrifice. It's about what, before we say make sacrifice, we should talk about what do you even have to give. What do you have? Because it is what God gave you that he asked you to give. It's not even about giving. It's what is the quality of what you are giving. So the light is shining because it is a royal light. Can I tell you something before I go away from it? There are revelations that can't fail. That brightness, there are certain brightness. Can I tell you something? Astrologers, that is the Magi, those men that saw it, they were learned in studying. You know, when you talk about astrology, you're talking about a study, the study of luminary bodies, the motions of luminary bodies in the stellar firmament. You study motions. You study motions. You study motions. You study positions of luminary body in the firmament. We call them astrologers. Now, so those men who saw that star, please don't conflict my voice with that. Those men who saw those stars were learned. But the light of that star was superior to their own light. So they forgot about their light. What their light has done is to help them to see a spiritual light. I said their light has already helped them to see a spiritual light. They don't need to talk about their own light after they have seen a spiritual light. And that spiritual light is called a royal light of that star, which is a crown light. his light is unapproachable because he's immortal. Who dwell in light unapproachable? It's a royal light of a star. So he is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. In 1 Timothy 15 and 16, he is King of Kings and what? Lord of Lords. So he dwell in light unapproachable. So in 24 of Numbers, he is the star of Jacob. So when you talk about lion, you're talking about the spirit that dwell in flood. So the ticket is built in the midst of flood. Flood is a revelation that cannot be, that carries lions. And that is where what is called the eternal power. I call it what? Now, a lot of pastors don't know eternal power. They know healing power. They know ordinary laying hand on people power. No. There are eternal power command spirits. Eternal power command angels. It was eternal power that Jesus had, and then he rose from the grave. It was eternal power that made him to use his back and enter into the cloud. And eternal power does not come through fasting and prayer only. Eternal power has foundation in certain learnings. Can I say this before I go away? Occultic men don't do healing, but they do soul travel, and they are controlling the earth yet. I was telling somebody, I said, why the church is there wasting time? It is because of where their anointing end is speaking tongue. So when you come, somebody say, excuse me, and I'm not against it, but don't forget that tongue sometimes is mixed with witchcraft. These ones don't speak in tongue, but they lighten the candle of their soul. So when you come to the market, they will see you. They will put something in their mouth there and be chewing it small and be looking at you very well. You might not call them prophets, but they are more devoted than prophets, because the light in their soul is shining very bright because of learning. Because of, put your hand together for Jesus. Now, what made Jesus enthroned? What enthroned Jesus was separation. There was a mark. There was a mark that God put on Jesus that separated him from John. That mark is Christ. Every one of us is separated with a mark. And then that mark that separates you should be the reason why you are trained. Now, I would like you to interpret that mark, because that is a mark of peculiarity. There is no enthronement without mark. Please hear, pay attention. Pay attention. There is no need to claim that your family is too much, or you're from the family of Judah. Those claims are not necessary. If you have mark, your mark should speak in your character. Your mark should speak in your victory. Your mark should speak in the battle you are winning. The mark should speak in your separation. Now, some people are ordinary people and they're saying they are powerful. How can somebody who is ordinary be powerful? Power is a function of separation. As a function, power. Listen, there was one day in the days of people of Israel, and